Warning, the stories you're about to hear are detailed accounts of shenanigans, pranks, and some mistakes that are meant to replicate the sort of discussions that veterans have when they reunite over a cold beverage and do not depict the professional daily actions of the military at large. We hope to make you laugh, but not to disrespect our proud men and women in uniform. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Cammo Comedy, where we take a humorous look at the lighter side of military service. We got a big show for you today, but before we jump into it, if you like what we're doing here, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, whatever they call it on your podcasting platform. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating, write us a review, as that makes us more relevant in the algorithm and boosts the overall visibility of the show. But word-of-mouth advertising is just so powerful, so if you tell some friends, I will love you forever. Okay, let's jump into the show. I am your host, Aaron Wolf. Joining me today is call sign Cheeks. Cheeks, thanks for being here today, man.
Absolutely. I always have fun when I'm here, and remember, everybody spread cheeks, not hate.
Fucking A. If people just did that a lot more often, we'd have a much less hateful world.
Agreed. Many more cheeks spread, happier people.
Dude, I got a great story for you. So check this out. There was an Air Force chief, right? And he was known for flipping out.
Yes. So if you're a senior enlisted, you flip out. That's part of the job, right?
Absolutely.
It's one of the prerequisites to get
If you're really known for it, if you give epic tantrums, then it's saying something.
For sure.
So this guy, like I said, he was known for flipping out. So he was trying to get his group of guys some special training, right? And it required a special funding request. So he had this financial guy that was working for him, and they got the bad news from the higher headquarters. They're like, hey, man, we're not going to be able to fund this. So he's just waiting for the end of the day. He's just like, you know what? I don't need to be taking any shrapnel for this whole thing. As they say, work smarter, not harder, right? So he waits till a couple hours after lunch. He says, okay, I just got to rip the Band-Aid off, goes into the chief's office and says, hey, chief, I got some bad news for you. Chief automatically just perks up in his desk and he's like, what? It's like, well, we heard from the wing today. They're not going to be funding this special training for our guys. The chief's like,
those motherfuckers! How the fuck are we supposed to get ready for war if these pussies over there aren't going to be funding the training that we need? Fuck them!
He's sweeping stuff off his desk. He had like little army men on display or something like that. He's kind of like throwing them. He's like, these motherfuckers. Financial guy's like, okay, this is none of my business. So he just goes down the hallway back to his office and shuts the door.
I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, all right, I know how the chief is. We're just going to let him do his thing. He's going to, be freaking out. So this goes on for a few minutes and the chief's storming up and down the hallway.
Those fucking pussies over there! Fuck them!
He's pointing to where the headquarters building is. He's like, these fucking cocksuckers, this and that. Anyway, so he's getting ready to leave for the day, the financial guy that is. And all of a sudden, he's seeing like people kind of stick their heads out of their office. And he's just kind of pointing. He's like, get back in your office. You don't want to take any shrapnel here. There was a junior enlisted guy that's usually a pretty laid back guy. He looks a little distraught. And he storms out of his office and comes into the financial guy's office and sits down. And he's like, hey, man, what's the deal? Like, are you okay? And he's like, no. And like I said, he's a pretty calm guy. And the chief's known to flip out. So it's not necessarily out of the ordinary. Right. It wasn't directed at him. So it was kind of like it begs the question, what's going on? He's just like, I was on the phone with my mental health assessment. Now, for those of you who might not know, every year you got to go through a physical in the military where you got to go get your immunizations. You got to be checked out physically and mentally, right? And there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of military members that need a mental health assessment all of the time, right? Every year. So they contract it out, and it could be in office or it could be a phone call, right? And since it's part of your responsibilities to make sure that you are fit for duty, you can do it during business hours, and it can be a phone call. So
right after somebody lights a bag of dog shit on fire and then walks out of the office.
I guess. So this junior enlisted guy, he had just scheduled it for that day, and just by happenstance, he has shut the door. He was talking, to the psychiatrist or whoever, and just saying like, hey, everything's going good. And then he's hearing like, just down the hallway,
fuck them, fucking pussies.
Door like crashing sounds, all this other kind of stuff like that. The psychiatrist on the other end of the phone is like, is that happening on your end? The junior enlisted guy's caught in a little bit of a quandary because he knows this is his boss's boss's boss, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's not really trying to get anybody in trouble, and it's kind of par for the course, but I don't know that necessarily the mental health people would see it that way.
Right.
So
I definitely don't think they would see it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just trying to play it tight to the vest and give them, honest answers, but not anything else that they don't need. So the mental health assessment lady was like, "That's going on your end?" And he goes, "Yes." And he's kind of listening, and you can hear like the chief's voice getting louder as he's coming closer to his office, and then getting softer as it's getting further away. And there's like every once in a while there's a crashing sound, and like, "These fucking pussies," you can kind of hear this audibly on the phone. Is that a supervisor? And he's like, "Oh my God, fuck me." Yes.
Cough twice if you're in danger.
Right? So, and then again, he's in this very awkward situation, and he's like, yes, this is a supervisor. And then the mental health lady was like, "It sounds like this guy needs to go back to leadership school." No comment, right? And then so he's
supposed to say to that?
He's just trying to mop up everything and just be like, "Listen, I'm good. I can't help the fact that my boss likes to flip out every once in a while. He just gets it out of his system, and then that's business, right?" Yeah. And so he's kind of blowing off steam as he's telling this to the financial guy. And the financial guy's kind of laughing because he's really finding the humor. And he's like, "Do you realize like the different instances that it took in order for all of these lines to cross exactly at the same time?" Because he got the financial guy got the information like earlier that day, probably just before lunch, as if I'm remembering the story correctly. So if he had told him at that time, this wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
Right. I love an epic flip out.
Sometimes you just got to scream it out, right?
Exactly. You got to get it out of your system, man.
Yeah. Speaking of getting stuff out of your system, so this story, man.
Oh my God, that's always a great way to start a story. Okay.
It is, right. This one,
whip it on me, man. What do you got?
This one blows my nipples off, okay? So we'll call this guy Willie B, all right?
All right.
So Willie B, E5 level, sergeant, and then he's got a couple friends that are staff sergeant level from being in the military. And you build relationships quickly when you're in the military, obviously. You're going through training, deployments, and all that stuff, and you get real close to people real fast. Because you have to, because you're in these intimate situations all the time. Yeah. Well, Willie B's going somewhere for training. He calls up a couple friends. He's like, "Hey, I don't want to pay for a hotel. This is voluntary, yada, yada, yada. Can I stay at you guys' place just for a couple nights?" They're like, "Yeah, absolutely." Yeah. So E5 Willie B is like, "Hey, can I stay?" E6 husband and wife are like, "Yeah, of course you can. No worries." Give them a spot on the couch. They're all hanging out, having some drinks, right?
Yeah, they get to catch up.
Yeah, they get to catch up. It's a good time, right? Well, it comes to that point where it's like, all right, it's time to go to bed. Like, you got shit to do in the morning, I got shit to do in the morning. So husband and wife go to bed. Well, Willie B apparently had some shit he had to work out, because as soon as the couple goes to bed, no time for the house to settle down, probably like 15 seconds later, "Oh shit, I forgot my water bottle." Wife comes outside, and this dude is on the couch just taint slapping, going ham.
Oh my God. So he's beating it.
He is beating it, right? And he's a big boy, all right? He's a big boy.
15 seconds. I don't even have my shoes off yet before you're going to bed, right?
Right, you don't even have time to sit down on the bed.
Yeah, like that. Is this breaking any kind of a rule where you're just saying, like, maybe you should let it breathe for a second?
There should be an unwritten rule about that, I would think.
I guess, but dude, hey, look, in Willie B's defense, he saw a window of opportunity and he took it.
Hey,
I respect that.
That's what they teach you in the military, right? When you see a window, you have to take it. Targets of opportunity.
Absolutely, man. Targets of opportunity. So I've got a great story for you. This story takes place back in the 1980s at a nuke base.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now, as you can well imagine, the security at a nuke base is extraordinarily secure, right?
Oh, sure.
So they've got sensors like every 5 inches or something crazy like this. Right. And anytime a sensor goes off, they have to send a team out to inspect the area just to make sure nothing is going on, right?
Wow.
These guys were working a night shift, and they had an ongoing problem with wildlife, particularly rabbits. Rabbits were getting into the wire, and they were setting off all these guys' sensors like 50, 60 times a night.
And there's no, like you have to go check that, right?
No. There's no, from what I understand, you don't get any discretion. Like, that's the rabbits, because the second that you start blowing stuff off, that's when it's Al Qaeda, or that's when it's the Russians or whoever, right?
What kind of rabbits were these?
I have no idea.
Were they recon rabbits?
I see what you did there. The recon rabbits. Yeah. Hey, all the more reason to send out a team. Check it out.
Shit.
Because you don't know who they're reporting back to.
That's valid.
So anyway, these guys got sick and tired of getting interrupted 60 times a night or whatever it was. And they've got to go out. It takes a couple times to do a full-on sweep and declare, hey, it was a rabbit, or hey, it was the wind, or, whatever. So they go out there and they're like, look, enough of this. This stops today. Right? So these dickheads, right?
Yeah.
The next time they work, they decide they're going to sneak in some air rifles.
Oh, geez.
Okay. And they're like, so they go out there in the field and they wait for the rabbits, and they smoke like 6, 7, 8 of these rabbits in one night. And then they just dust their hands off and they're like, our work is done here.
Nothing
right?
to see here.
Fucking Elmer Fudd style.
Wabbit
they
season.
waste all these wabbits, the recon rabbits, whatever the fuck they are. Doesn't matter. Anyway, when they leave for the day, all these rabbits are lying dead in the field. So when day shift comes in, they see a field of dead rabbits, and automatically they're like, oh my God, we've got a nuke leak somewhere.
Oh,
so
God.
they send out these guys in like the space suits with Geiger counters and everything like that. And they're going out there, they're inspecting the area, because canary in the coal mine, usually wildlife, stuff like that, will start dying first. So they go out there, and once they get up on the rabbits, it's really obvious that they're shot.
Yeah.
And not radiated. So they're like, okay. And like when you find this situation, shot rabbits inside the wire.
Yeah.
You can do some very simple math to figure out who the fuck is responsible for this.
Right.
So I don't have all of the details.
Wanted to take a nap.
Exactly. I don't have all the details, but I know heads rolled, people paid a dear price. Like, what in the fuck? Or like, if you're going to be a dickhead about it, you could have at least picked up the fucking rabbits after yourself.
I like to think of this story as a like a lower enlisted going up to upper enlisted and be like, hey, we got this rabbit problem. And they're like, fuck you, check it, you're lazy. And they're like, all right, bet. And then this is how they solve the problem.
That, knowing military guys, that very well could have been how they solve things. Because people in the military, I mean, we have a lot of very, bright and intelligent people that are in the military, but everybody's got a dumbass attack. Everybody, like, works with somebody that you're just like, how the fuck did this guy get in?
Right.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah. So keeping in with the night shift theme, right? This story's a
I
fun
love night shifters.
Oh, everything
night shifters
good happens
are
on
fucking
night shift.
savages.
Oh, yes.
And full of boredom, which makes for funny stories.
It does. Night shift is the best. So this is Air Force Security Forces, military police equivalent. And there's a male and a female at the guard shack, right? At the front gate where nobody ever comes in or out because it's night shift where nothing happens. After hours, right? So after like 1 o'clock when all the drunk people come through and get back to their barracks and stuff, there's not really much to do.
Right.
Well, this chick, she's at the guard shack, and she's in a sea of dudes, right? Being in security forces, the military police style, she is a chick in a sea of dudes, all right? Set the scene here, okay? So we're at the guard shack, bored out of our skulls, la-di-da-di-da-di. Dude at the guard shack's like, hey, what's that over there? And he sees a giant spider.
Oh, God.
And you can see where this is going.
Oh, yes.
Right? He corrals the spider in some manner in his hands or a Tupperware container, I'm not quite sure. And he proceeds to chase this girl around the guard shack for the entirety of this whole story, right? He's chasing her around, yada, 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 running. She's trying to get out of the guard shack. He's locking the doors. She's bouncing off the walls. He's running after her. During this, her mic keys up, like her radio keys up, and it doesn't stop. So she's got a hot mic during all of this, right? So everybody over at the like the dispatch and upper echelon who has all of their radios.
Anybody who has access to radios.
Yeah, everybody who has a radio and it is on.
Oh, God.
Is just hearing, no, stop, don't, get it out, get it away from me, don't do that.
And I'm sure if there's a spider, this is like shrieking.
Oh, yes.
So it sounds, this is like a Seinfeld or above Seinfeld level of misunderstanding.
Oh, God, yes.
Right
so, yeah, on the other end of the, no, God, stop, please get it out, leave me alone. Oh, my God. That is all you hear.
Yeah.
That's it.
I would know what I would be thinking if you hear that over the radio. It's really easy to take it the wrong way.
So everybody who's got a radio now is in a police car running lights and sirens.
Were these two friends?
Oh, of course they were. Yeah.
Okay. So they were just fucking with each other.
Absolutely. These semantics only happen with friends. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm sure some bows would have been thrown and somebody probably would have drawn a gun.
Exactly.
So everybody who's got a cop car now is haul-assing to the main gate.
All right.
Okay. They bust in through the main gate. They take this dude, throw him up against the wall, holding him up by his collar like old school bully style. What the fuck did you do to her? What the fuck did you do to her? She's like, no, stop, don't. It was a joke. It was a spider. Don't do that.
It was a spider.
It was a spider.
I would be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So
looks like we have ourselves a misunderstanding.
Correct.
That's awkward as fuck.
Right. So they slowly lower this guy down, and they're like, "Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
Hey, pal." Straighten out his collar, fix his uniform, kind of dust him off, like, "Our bad."
Yeah. A fucking spider?
And he's like, "So you thought I was a raper, huh?"
Yeah. That really sets an awkward tone for the rest of the night or week.
Right.
Or month.
Yeah. Forever.
Yeah, forever. Hey, thanks for checking out the Cammo Comedy Show Podcast. If you like what we're doing here and you want to participate in this community, there are many different ways that you can contribute. First and foremost, tell somebody about the show. Word of mouth advertising is very powerful, and we really appreciate you for helping us out. If you have any funny military stories of your own or know somebody who does, with their permission, of course, you can contribute those stories via email at stories@cammocomedy.com. That's stories, STORIES, at CAMMOCOMEDY.com. Or if you're not too good at the internets, drop us a voicemail at area code 531-222-6146. That's area code 531-222-6146. That's right, we're giving away our phone number. We want funny military stories from all eras. So if you're not from a generation that's heavily online, we don't want there to be a barrier for participation. We have a lot of big plans for this show and building this community to support veterans. We will announce here soon, so stay tuned. All right, I'm going to go have a nice spicy bowl of chili. Later. I am your host, Aaron Wolf. Joining me today is call sign Blindside. Blindside, thanks for coming back, man. It's always a pleasure to have you in studio.
Hey, great to be here, Aaron. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
Fuck yeah. All right, so...
I feel like another story takes us back to the good old days of the Air Force.
Hell yeah.
Picture this.
1980s?
Oh, yeah, 1980s Europe.
Okay.
Okay. Now, over there, it was used to be the way the discipline is a lot different in the military in those days than it is now, because now you do something wrong, it's a career ender. What I mean by that, they just document and put you out.
Right.
Well, back in the day, they used to, I wouldn't say, they can't call it punishment, but they found things for you to do.
Yeah, there was a way of punishing you without, like, punishing you.
Right. If you were a good person, good troop overall, they just wanted to straighten you out. And that's kind of what they did. It mentored you in the way how you should be mentored.
Right.
Okay. Well, picture this story. You're young, like 19 years old, There's bars everywhere.
Yeah.
You've got money.
It's Europe too. Like
Yeah, Europe. There's all kinds of fun things to do. There's no drinking age.
Yeah.
If you can walk in, you can drink. So you're not thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I had this classic motorcycle, 1954 BMW.
Oh shit. Nice.
You know, I bought it over there, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Mechanical brakes, not real fast, didn't stop real well, but you know, mechanical brakes.
Still.
Like, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
Well, being young and stupid, you don't think, you go out and you drink.
Yeah.
And you drink a lot. But then you get on your motorcycle and you go for rides because you're invincible. You're 19 years old.
Sure.
Nothing's going to happen to you. It happens to the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So it's a typical night where I've got a weekend off. The perfect storms lined up.
Yeah.
Well, I had a place off base, me and a couple buddies, and I also lived on the dorms too. When you live in the dorms, we called it ghosting.
Why'd you call it ghosting?
Well, it was called basically you had to pay out of your pocket to live off base.
Okay.
Because you were assigned a dorm room because you didn't get paid to live off base. We just did it out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
Because it was nice to get away from the military.
Sure.
And live like a civilian a little bit. Just not under somebody's thumbnail.
Right.
You know, if you wanted to leave your bed unmade, you left it unmade.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, drunk, 19-year-old.
Right.
Classic motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's probably, who knows, 3 o'clock in the morning. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember the situation. I just know people telling the story afterwards. Okay, so I go rolling up to the main gate, and the gal I knew, you know, she's pretty cool, working the gate guard.
Yeah.
Well, she comes out, check my ID or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so drunk I forget to put my foot down. I just fall over on the motorcycle, passed out stone cold.
Boom.
Don't know a thing about it, right?
Yeah.
But hearing after the fact, basically they had to get me up, get me to my dorm room, get my motorcycle over there out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know this has even happened.
Oh, shit.
Next morning, you know, 19 years old, you wake up, hey, you're ready to go. Wake up, a little bit hungover.
Yeah.
Look on the mirror, and it says on there with Sharpie, come see me, Master Sergeant, you know, I'm
We'll
not going to say his
call
name. Yeah.
Billy.
Anyway.
Master Sergeant
Come
Billy.
see me is like, oh my God, what did
fuck.
I do?
Yeah. You know you fucked up.
I knew because I knew I was out.
Oh, fuck.
I knew I was on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm not hurt. What happened?
Right.
So like, oh my God.
Also not arrested, which is a
And
good thing.
let me talk a little bit about this guy. If you look in the history of the Air Force, there's a thing of people, they're called air commandos in Vietnam.
Yeah.
They wore berets, didn't make them badass, but they kind of were. They
Right.
basically flew missions and did all kinds of stuff, you know, in Vietnam. They weren't like special forces creeping in the woods and stuff, but they'd land on these little remote airstrips and have to defend the aircraft if they had to. And
Okay.
you know,
That's pretty sweet.
He's an old crusty badass.
Yeah.
When I mean crusty, when you're 7 or 19 years old, crusty's 37.
Probably like 30.
You know what I mean? 37.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I gotta go see this guy.
Yeah.
So I go up there and go to his office,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Well, old Airman Blindside."
Yeah.
So, guess what? I think the problem is you got too much time on your hands. I think I'm going to help you out.
Fuck yeah.
So we worked these schedules that were 6 days on,
Okay.
3 days off. We worked 3 swings, 3 mids, 3 days off.
Okay.
It was a weird cycle like that.
Yeah.
And then they also had day shift.
Yeah.
And I was on day shift at one other time too. There's some more stories on that. But
Yeah.
anyway, so it was probably like the next 6 or 8 weeks. Now it's summertime.
Yeah.
Over in Europe, and everyone was out having a great time. Me, every day I've got off, he had something for me to do. I was picking up cigarette butts. I was painting. I was sweeping. You ever heard stories of mopping in the rain? He didn't have me do that.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, but you
So
hear
you're
that
actually
story.
doing
It was
some
that kind
useful
of stuff, just dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Out in the public's eye, I'm out there doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And you knew it was punishment. They couldn't call it punishment. It was volunteered work.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
they could have kicked you out. These days, they'd kick you out.
Oh, yeah.
For an alcohol-related incident.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, I really like that old school method of correcting people because a lot of those guys that got in trouble, like there's so many guys that get that correction and turn out to be really good, like later on down the road. It was good to invest in them.
I can honestly say that this guy probably saved my life because I was on a path to nowhere.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good story with a good ending, other than like making some mistakes. But hey, 19-year-olds usually do that kind of stuff. But I'm glad you had a good, a good role model that was correcting you and things like that.